Tonight was an event trading with the Middle East. It's the second event of our 2010-2011 programme. We were delighted that Mark Carter of RAP International was able to speak and give us his view on the Middle East. He trades with a number of countries, particularly Qatar, and we were delighted he was able to give some hints on how to trade with Middle Eastern countries. There are some differences between areas of the world, obviously, and the Middle East, like the Far East, have got certain cultural differences, which is always handy to be able to understand and put into practice. So we're delighted that Mark was able to join us.
RAP International supplies risk assessment software to companies operating in high hazard industries all over the world. There's a lot of legislation, there are many procedures about, guidelines and recommendations that tell you what you should be doing with risk assessment. But we perceived at the time, and it's still true to some extent now, that people just tick boxes when they're actually doing risk assessments. So we compiled a huge knowledge base of activities that would keep you safe while you were doing your work, and I must say that knowledge base was derived at BP Chemicals Baglan Bay. This knowledge base people come to when they're doing particular types of work, and they use it to keep themselves safe while they're doing it. Of course, we had the product that was known to several companies. As I say, we deal with many big companies, and so we were invited to tender by Qatar Petroleum when they were looking to have an electronic system. They have a large initiative in Qatar to make nearly all of their systems electronic, and this is just one of those systems that they're doing. So we were invited to tender. We did. We were in competition against two other suppliers, but I think because ours was the best solution, as I say, it approaches a more psychological part of risk assessment, then I think we were successful for that. Well, we trade all over the world, and I would say every area really has its own little idiosyncrasies. Well, I think that, initially when you expect to go over there, you expect to be dealing with many Arabs, at least if they're not indigenous to the country, then certainly from around the region. And that is true to a certain extent, but the bulk of people you will be dealing with are people from the Indian subcontinent. And that's one of the first things to overcome, is that the culture isn't really an Arab culture at all. It's mainly Indian subcontinental. I think it's easy for the simple reason that English is one of the language, is the language really of currency in the area. That makes it good for us. I think the Empire's legacy in terms of systems and procedures has made that easy for us too. People understand the way they should be operating. So yeah, I think being British and being and speaking English is definitely an advantage for us. And of course, they can't get all of that oil and gas out themselves. They rely on people like us to do it for them, and that's really where the opportunities are.
Business for Business Internet Marketing is basically what it says on the tin. We're a business focused on knowledge, and that's knowledge to do with digital and internet marketing. It's about e-business, it's about getting our business out there in front of customers. So we work with clients to identify the best strategy for them so that their money is spent in the right way and they get the best customers. If you're exporting, and whether it's the Middle East or Europe or in the European countries, when you translate the language from English to another language, most translation companies will do a literal translation. Now that sometimes doesn't always work because the context is different on the ground in the country, the destination country. And in the Middle East, there's things to take into consideration like colours. Even colours make a difference. Green is an acceptable colour under Muslim faith, other colours are not. And what you have to make sure is that when you translate the site and you adopt it for that destination market, it complies with the way that they accept it and is acceptable to their culture. So it's called localization. It's a very important aspect of website translation. Some Welsh companies trade in the Middle East. Unfortunately, there is an interesting dialogue going on at the moment on LinkedIn in one of the discussion boards about companies in Wales rather reticent about exporting, and it seems like the important part is understanding the culture that you're going to export into. Make sure you put all the safety measures in place to be able to trade properly and get on with it. A website allows you to do that, and once they've paid, whether they're in Timbuktu or in Tottenham, Court Road. If they bought it and they paid for it, send it out. And I think if more companies realise this, then they can start trading much more frequently in export, as part of the export market to attract new trade, new markets, and possibly a lot more business. And it'll help the economy, it'll help everyone.